Hello everyone, Tina here for Papertrey Ink. I hope you're having a fabulous day. I'm back again to share a project with you. We are using some more new items that arrived over at the Papertrey Ink Shop. This is part of their latest release. And I love the snowflake dies. This is called the Perfect Snowflakes. I'm going to be using this large, easy to cut snowflake for our card project today. It makes a great focal point for our card. And then I'm filling in this center. Since it is a large snowflake, I think it'd be fun to fill it in with a couple of Into the Blooms Christmas sprigs. This is a die set that has a whole bunch of different sprigs that are great for layering and Christmas. And we're going to die cut out the berries here and this little sprig along with this sprig here. I thought we'd just add a couple of flourishes to the center of our snowflake. I'm going to bring in some colored cardstock. I went ahead and die cut out my flourishes and my snowflake. I did the snowflake with a piece of foam for a little bit of dimension and then white cardstock. We're going to layer these together. And then I also have some sprigs. This was created with the Papertrey Ink Spring Moss cardstock. We have ripe avocado here with these sprigs, and then these berries, and then there is a little piece that accents the berries. I used the same sweet blush that we're going to use for our background, and then this cardstock here is berry sorbet. So we're going to do a little ink blending on our leaves. Before we do that, I do want to layer my snowflake together, and to do that we'll just use some glue. Such a nice snowflake, and this would be great horizontal or vertical. Look how pretty that looks this way or this way. This would make a really pretty ornament too. I'm going to layer this together for some dimension. If you don't have foam, you could use that same die and die cut out a couple pieces and stack them together for the same dimension. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of, before we do our ink blending, I'm going to add the little detail piece to the berries. There are two different ones here. One's more oblong, the other one's more round. I did two of the little oblong ones and one round one. And I'm going to, believe it or not, these little pieces add so much detail. Okay, I'm gonna flip these around. I'm gonna put some foam tape behind here because eventually we're gonna pop these up. So I'll just put some small foam squares. So those are ready to go. Now for the leaf flourishes, I'm going to bring in my finger dauber and some prairie grass ink. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to the edges. Okay, and then I'm going to use a darker ink. This is Olive Twist. We're going to add some, I'm going to use this darker ink and add a little shading to the edges of these pine needles. Our leaf flourish is done, but I do want to add some sparkle. So to do that, I'm going to bring in some scratch paper. I'm bringing in my glossy accents. I'm going to add just a little bit of this glaze. I'm going to go over basically the areas that we added the ink to. I'll do that to both of these. And then add a little bit to our pine needles too. If you don't have a glaze or glossy accents, what you can do is also use glue for this. But since glossy accents is clear, I think it's going to work out a little bit better, and it dries pretty fast. So we added a little bit to our pine needles. I'm going to bring in some glitter. Oh, this is some iridescent glitter. It's a little bit on the chunky side. I'm going to pick some up, and we're going to add it to our flourishes. I wanted to add a icy, sparkly look, and I love doing this. Okay, I'm going to tap off. So we have some sparkle on here. I'm going to set these aside to dry. Let me show you this one. We'll just tap them off, and we have some added sparkle. And it does pick up some of that ink, which is nice too. For my background, I have an A2 panel of the Papertrey Ink Sweet Blush cardstock, and then I also have a same width of piece of white cardstock. What we're going to do is take a border die set. This is the Papertrey Ink Elegant Edges Fresh Cuts die set. A lot of fun, beautiful borders in here. I'm going to use this one. Now when you cut this out, the bottom of the scallop will have the dotted detail. So I'm going to cut this out. We'll go to the bottom area. If I have to trim some off, we can. I'll tape this down here, but I'm also going to cut this out on the very bottom of here too. I went ahead and die cut it out, and I love the way this looks. This is so pretty and dainty and detailed. I love that. I don't know if you can see that dotted detail, but maybe in the pictures you can see it. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of something in our background. So I'm bringing in a Papertrey Ink stencil. This is the script background stencil collection. There's actually two to this collection. You have a vertical and then you have a horizontal. So I'm going to take the horizontal, and what we're going to do is just add a little bit. Well, maybe we could just cover the whole thing. I'm going to put this over my panel now, and then I just want a few areas of this script showing in my background. To do that, I'm using soft stone ink, and I'm going to start in the middle. That's where my snowflake's going to be, to make sure that it's just a nice light fade. Maybe a little bit up on top. Very soft, but it just creates a little bit of vintage look for my card today. Okay, I'm going to take my card base. This is going to be a side folding A2 size card base, and I'm going to line this up at the very top. We'll tape it down with my tape runner. Once we have this adhered, we're going to take this piece, and I'm going to lightly tack it. I'm going to inlay it where it's supposed to go, and then I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to trim off what's overhanging. Since we lightly tacked this bottom piece, it's now perfectly positioned. I'm going to remove it, but I'm going to add more adhesive to the back side, and then I'm going to bring in some baker's twine. I'm using some black and white baker's twine. I'm going to just add one end to one side, and then we'll flip it around, and then I'll tack down the other end. I'm going to take this piece and we're going to go ahead and put this back. Now we have a little texture on our card. I'm going to take this leftover twine, I'm going to tie a bow with it. And I'm going to use a glue dot and add it to this very bottom. Now we're going to work on our snowflake. Let's go ahead and adhere this down. For the most part, they're pretty dry. Okay, I'm going to add some glue behind here. And we're going to layer our flourishes in the middle. Okay, I think that looks wonderful. We have some sparkle in there, and then we're going to add our berries. We did put foam tape behind here, so I'm just going to remove the release paper, and we're going to add all of our berries in the center. I'll bring back my glossy accents. I'm going to go over those berries. This is one of those cards where I'm not going to add a greeting. I'm just going to leave it as it is because I could use this for winter or for Christmas. But that finishes my card for today for Papertrey Ink. I hope you get a chance to check out the brand new release. I'll have everything listed down below for your convenience. Have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining me.